Bruce Springsteen's lyrics are probably more insightful and profound than what maybe most people think. I was just reading on the forum, and Bruce's lyrics were shared. You can't start a fire without a spark. There's a joke here somewhere, and it's on me. And somebody else mentioned the void, and the two kind of clicked, and I thought, wow, that'd be a neat, insightful video perhaps on the void, which of course can't be defined, but that's always the case. So this is just kind of a pointing. First, consider, try to really grasp. Light always has a source, apparent or absolute. Light always has a source. A light bulb, the sun, a candle. Darkness never has a source. So if it's overlooked, it wouldn't be readily noticed, but it can be noticed in reflecting on that. For example, you can walk into a room and turn on the light and turn off the light, but you can't turn on the dark or turn off the dark. Why that is, I'm proposing, is light is non-dual. Darkness is apparent. So it kind of works like this. When I'm saying light, whether that's this light or the light, the infinite light, the light that is, the light that you are, which is the point of this video and any video, any video I've shared, any video on non-duality. You are the light. So when I'm talking about light, I'm talking about you, eternal, infinite, unconditional you, which is the same, by the way, at least in how the communication is meant. That's not, there's not meant to be any implication that that's you once you obtain something, or you in the future, or the better version of you, or you once you finally figure it out, or none of that. I just mean already. By the light, I mean you already. So the light, the non-dual light, one way to say it, the light and the light is not an experience. It's still the light. So for the light to have any, albeit apparent of itself, for the light to have any experience, the light veils itself. So the light, again, being infinite, is formless, and absolutely without any limitation whatsoever. So there's certainly nothing that prevents the light from appearing as darkness. So the light appears as darkness, and then appears as the two spheres, which are made of the light, we might say through the veil of darkness, or the face of the deep. That's a lovely way to put it. Then there's this appearance, the spheres, and the light. Over here, the spheres, a lot of projection happens on the void. Two examples that come to mind: when fear that's clearly is felt, when it's overlooked as an emotion, and when emotion is either suppressed and or not acknowledged or honored or respected as guidance, then for the thoughts, then it could seem like there is fear of something. So psychologically, a lot of fear of the void causes thought, or the activity of thought, or the so-called finite mind, if you like, to ruminate, to keep in a cycle of trying to figure out, etc. Also, there's meditation. Maybe 3 examples come to mind. Meditation's really a letting go of everything you're not. And everything you're not really is the veiling of the activity of thought or beliefs. Without the believing of thoughts, there wouldn't seem to be what you're not. There can be an experience of, I'm using that term kind of loosely, but there can be an experience of the void. Similarly, with a psychedelic trip, there can be, it's really, a psychedelic trip is essentially the same as the undergoing of meditation, in that the substance seems to peel away psychological paradigms, beliefs, the activity of thought, etc. Both are, here's the spheres, here's the void, the darkness, and here's the light. Meditation and psychedelics are really both letting go of this, letting go of experience. Because even when you get down to it, experience is this thought or notion that there's two, or that there's something other than the light. And when I'm saying the light, I'm not talking about you or a future you, etc. I'm saying that which is aware right now, that which is appearing as this and hearing this communication. They're receding in both cases. Also, questioning beliefs and inspecting beliefs is a dispelling of beliefs, as in there's thought attachment, and that's another way of saying thoughts are believed. So when it's inspected, there's a detachment from the thought, usually in terms of identity or discord, a concern, what have you. Same things that the psychedelics seem to do. Same thing that the facing of fears, which never literally technically can happen. It's really that you're dispelling your own psychological projection of the emotion onto some event or circumstance or whatever. That works also. They're all dispelling the spheres, really. And then there can be the void. There can be experience falls apart. So pre-void, not in time, but in appearing as creation, or this pre-void, there isn't anything to dispel. There aren't any beliefs. There isn't anything that could be believed. There's no activity of thought. Then there's void. Then there's the spheres. Now there's this. Now there is seemingly the activity of thought. So that's all dispelled. And there can be disheartening experiences with the void, where it's sort of assumed that it was the ultimate reality, or that it was so to speak, heavily so to speak, the furthest one can go. But really, again, you have to bear in mind, it's not a going or a getting or an obtaining. It's a letting go. It's a falling back, a receding as yourself, which is appearing as this. When that occurs, then it can be easily overlooked, and everything discordant. Every belief that doesn't feel good, when the emotions are just sort of overlooked, suppressed, or ignored, that guidance just isn't allowed, or honored, or respected, received, then the psychological projection can project a lot onto the void. But in receding further, there is the light, the infinite light, the truth of your own infinitude and unconditionality. So you can't start a fire without a spark. There's a joke somewhere, and it's on me. For reference, watch a couple of videos ago about infinite humor there. You can't start a fire without a spark. In the same fashion, you can't have experience without a void, without a veiling of the light. And whatever your path is like, meditation, questioning beliefs, psychedelics, a combination, all of the above, or something else I'm not naming here, whatever, it's all receding back as yourself, the light, which is appearing as this.